This motion now touches actually every citizen. In the years gone by, it was not easy to discuss this issue of electricity in the rural area, but now it is the current discussion, because our country has progressed to such a situation that the need for power, electricity, is actually real. But, Mr. Speaker, many people are blaming the issue of monopoly, and I'm one of them. And, Mr. Speaker, if you look at the price of power in Kenya, in the compared to the region, Kenya is one of the highest, if in fact not the highest. In Uganda, they sell per kilowatt 20 shillings. In Burundi, it is 20.28. In Tanzania, it is 12.34. In Kenya, it is 23 shillings. So, Speaker, this is a very expensive price for power. And governments have come and said that they are going to reduce. I know that President Uhuru did promise so much that this power was going to come down. But the price of power defied the President Uhuru's promises. Now, even in the current government that has come on the ticket of, on the platform of reducing price, these prices have also defied the current government. And we have to address ourselves, what is the issue behind this? I know originally, we used to think that there was only one source of producing power, which was hydroelectricity. But now we have diversified. We have geothermal production of power. We have the wind production of power. And I know that there are some companies, like the tea factories in Kericho, the tea companies in Kericho, that actually produce some amounts of electricity, although they do consume and sell to the grid. There are sugar companies that have wanted to use bagasse or ethanol to produce power. The sources of production of power have increased. We are no longer in those days when we used to get power from ginger. We have power all over. We are beyond the days when we depended on the dams to get hydroelectricity. Yet the prices of power are still very high. It requires a study. I'm shy to say that we should have a commission of inquiry, but this issue of power has become endemic. Mr. Speaker, and this has produced some consequences. We are saying here, under the Vision 2030, that we want to be an industrialized country. The Kenya Association of Manufacturers, their own chairman, did say one of these days, it is impossible to have an industrial country when your power is not affordable, when your power is not sustainable, when you cannot actually have a cheaper way of funding industry. Unless we deal with the question of power, these industries in Kenya will never see the light of day. Industrialization will continue to be a dream far away to be realized. I ask, Mr. Speaker, that the Kenya Power and Lighting Company does actually take it upon itself to do this. I know when I was in China, the KPLC was the one that could be agreed, so they could be allowed to borrow money for power purposes, because in those days, GDC they did not have a good balance sheet. Ketraco did not have a good balance sheet. But today, it is KPLC that does not have a good balance sheet. Where did things go wrong? Now, speaking on behalf of the people of Kilgoris, it is the question of KPLC is a real disaster in Kilgoris. I don't know why power is never consistent in Kilgoris. You could be watching television. I'm not a great watcher of football, but my children are. And when you think the goal is about to be scored, KPLC switches off. And you don't understand. I was not in Nairobi to watch the demonstrations. I was watching on television. And then the power went off. Mr. Speaker, there is hardly anything you can do with power in Kilgoris. People who run butcheries have to have their meat being rotting. If you have kept your milk in the fridge, if you are using anything as a hotel, there is no power that is consistent enough to make your business sustainable. And the reason is that we are not connected. We do not have a transmission center in Kilgoris. We are far away from our headquarters in Narok, and our friends in Sotik have taken this advantage that I don't know how they ration the power so that Kilgoris only gets a little bit of it, and the rest of it goes to serve the Bomet interest. I call upon the people, Kenya Power and Lighting, to put up a station, a reliable station, to serve the people of Kilgoris. In fact, the people of Kilgoris do not even have a Kenya Power and Lighting office. They just have an operational one for technicians. You do not, if you want to ask a question about why the power has gone bad, they refer you to Sotik. Sotik is in Bomet County. We are a sub-county far away from our own county, but we do need to establish a connection where we can solve our problems with power. The last thing, Mr. Speaker, is about the billing system in KPLC. You can live in a small apartment in Nairobi and still pay power as if you run an industry on Mombasa Road. There is no formula. The guys come and look at your meter, and I don't know, they look at it with what eyes, and they give you a bill that you ask yourself, supposing I was manufacturing bread somewhere on Mombasa Road, how much would I pay? If you can just pay a lot of money for living on an apartment. And then it is not consistent. If all of you live on an apartment block, one is paying 2,000, another one is paying 20,000. When are we going to get a more consistent way? Probably not manual at all. There was a time that the KPLC gave responsibilities to NYS to do the billing the reading for them. And in that time when NYS was reading the meter, the bills were fair. But when these guys came and they realized that they have to raise money from consumers, from unsuspecting consumers, they were given specific instructions. And this I must say, I suspect. They were given strict instructions to go and inflate the bills. And today, you don't know, Mr. Speaker, what you are going to pay next time. I know you might have a big house in Nyanza. You have another one in Nairobi. You have your own business. You are actually working for KPLC because the amount of money you pay for them, and then they don't even acknowledge. They are very rude. They don't have good customer service. They do not have a way of managing their customers. And that's why one time I said, Mr. Speaker, if I go to heaven and I find a KPLC person there, I know I'm in hell. Because how do you go to heaven under these circumstances? You are literally ripping off the people of Kenya, and then you are saying that you are doing your job. Mr. Speaker, this monopoly must end. And when it ends, Kenya will be a good country. I support.
I'd actually given the chance to the member for Machakos. We skipped her. Go ahead, member for Machakos.
Thank you.